Hey guys, welcome back to TEW. This is our local to global and we are Classic Championship Wrestling. Now before we get into the gist of the episode, I want to say a big thank you to the members to the channel. Thank you to Genevieve Sweet for being a member. If you guys want to support the channel, you can by pressing the join button today. For less than $1 a month, you get early access to these TEWs and all sorts of fun things like that. So with that being said, let's go over our previous shows. And if we start, we had Ultrasonic defeated Max Stardom and LSG to retain their tag team championships. Kevin Blackwood would thank the Rebels, and then say he'll do an open challenge as World Heavyweight Champion. Valkyrie defeated Abandon. Cassie Lee and crew came out to stare down Valkyrie. Kenzie Page defeated Suzu Suzuki in a 72 rated match. As a thank you, Baba and Blanc were told they would be facing off to become the first ever junior heavyweight title champion. Ricky Knight Jr. defeated Marino Tenagala. Suzu Suzuki had an interview interrupted by Saya, calling her weak. Drexel would defeat Adrian Ortiz, and then Drexel would cut a promo in which half of the circus would turn on him, and the rest of them would all disappear. And then Kevin Blackwood would defeat Frankie Kazarian to retain the World Heavyweight title in Open Challenge number 1. In Cold Blood, Kimmy Babbitt would defeat Blanc to win the Junior Heavyweight title. Barra and Blanc would shake hands post-match. Ricky Knight Jr. defeated the KTB. Eddie Edwards said he would end Blackwood's title reign early. Suzu Suzuki and Alex Garcia defeated Ida Bradley and Seiya Kitamiya. Athena claimed she'd be taking the title away from Valkyrie. Ultrasonic defeated the Midnight Heat to retain their tag team titles. And Valkyrie would defeat Athena to retain her women's world title. Cassie Lee alongside Rebel Kell and... my mind's now gone blank for some reason. Gigi Ray said that they were coming for the title. Kevin Blackwood would then defeat Eddie Edwards to retain the World Heavyweight title in Open Challenge 2, and following that, Chris Ridgeway would debut and attack Blackwood. At the next show, Lyra Valkyria promised to take down all challengers in terms of Cassie Lee alongside Femme Fatale, who is Gigi Ray and Rebel Kell, in which Kenzie Page and Thekla would all interrupt, so Valkyrie has a huge target on her back. Chris Ridgway would defeat EJ Noduga in his first match and then cut a promo claiming that he wants Kevin Blackwood's spot. We would then have Lycos Jim debut defeating the American Guns. There's a video shown of Blackwood winning the title plus Chris Ridgway's attack. It also encompasses some of the circus footage, and Swoggle saw the backstage assault on Chris Ridgway, determining that it was his blood the whole time that was backstage. Suzuki would defeat Abandon. Chris Ridgway was told he could have asked for a title by Kevin Blackwood, but in which case Tom Pestock, aka Baron Corbin, would interrupt, claiming that Blackwood has bigger problems to worry about tonight. Baron Blanc would team together to defeat Ricky Knight Jr. and Hoodfoot. Post-match, Ricky Knight Jr. would beat down Takumi Baba. Swoggle would go to the rest of Prawn Patrol, claiming that he solved the case, as if just like that, claiming that they now need a new case. Ultrasonic defeated the Cook Brothers to retain the World Tag Team titles, and in the main event, Kevin Blackwood would defeat Tom Pestock to retain the World Heavyweight title. And then at CCW Survive, Suzuki, Seiya Kitamiya and Serene Deeb would defeat Alex Garcia and the Hall Sisters. Infamy would defeat Blanc and Cody Chan and Ricky Knight Jr. and King Cash. Lycos Jim would go to a time limit draw with Ultrasonic for the titles. Prawn Patrol's next case was to determine who is under the mask of Lycos 2. Valkyrie defeated Cassie Lee to retain the women's world title. We then had Adam Copeland interrupting a Kevin Blackwood promo, saying that it's going to be his night to lead CCW. Takumi Baba would defeat Noam Dar to retain the junior world title. And then Kevin Blackwood would defeat Adam Copeland to retain the World Heavyweight title, in which Chris Ridgway would once again beat down Blackwood post-match. If we come to our finances, you'll see we actually made a big profit last month, even though we hired Tom Pestock, Noam Dar, Adam Copeland, who all cost about, I think it was $4,000 in wages alone. So that was a huge amount for us. And we come to our size, we're very quickly getting there. So with that being said, we are going to skip ahead. Any interesting news we'll talk about, and if not, I will see you at the show. Okay, and some really sad news. We have Eric Bischoff has passed away alongside Shane Douglas having passed away. And Shota Umino apparently has major backstage issues. If you check out his personality. Apparently he has a selfish personality. He's also on a written contract with them for over almost 1,000 days. So that should be a fun little situation to keep an eye on. Okay, we've got even more sad news. We've now lost Jerry Lawler and Dutch Mantel. The game is just getting rid of everyone in this episode for some reason. Okay, it's time for our first show of the episode, so we can give some people the night off. So we'll use Notice, we need Blanc, we won't use Gracia. We don't need the Hall Sisters. We don't need Zaya Zhao, we do need Valkyrie, we do need Thekla, we need Baba, we need Swoggle, Suzu, Sonico. We don't need Session Moth, we don't need Serena Deeb, Saya, Samla Turner, Ricky Nut. We don't need Ricky Gibson, which means we don't need Eddie Pearl. We don't need Ethan HD or Mike Santiago, who is here. We need Rebel Kell, Egan. We don't need the Cooks. So Brian Cook can go. We need Kathy Kelly, Cassie Lee, Cajun. We don't need D.A. Brewer. Rossman, D'Lo, Gigi Ray. We need Hanako. We don't need Ida Bradley. We need Jessie McKay, Jessica Carr, Smallman, Josia we want, Kenzie Page we want, Blackwood, Egan. Okay, we are good. Tonight's venue, we are in the Midwest, building this area up. Finalise our broadcasters, get ourselves on everyone. Booking team meeting, we're going to leave it at that. Locker room incidents. He wants to hang out backstage, that's fine. We also did training for Kellen Ray, for Russman, Notice, Josie and Crawdad. Nice. Address the locker room, team bonding. How are we doing? Nothing. Cool. Okay, well, we'll book the show and I'll see you at the results page. Okay, in the opening segment of the show, we had Kevin Blackwood come out angry, calling out Chris Ridgeway. Chris Ridgeway would eventually answer, but tell him that he'll face him at the next show for the title. We then have Angle Blanc taking on JJ Garrett, in which Blanc would get the win in 14 minutes with the 450 splash. Blanc got a 41 and JJ Garrett got a 38. So wrestling rating of 40, segment rating of 43. We then have Valkyrie and Suzuki team together taking on Gigi Ray and Rebel Kell from Femme Fatale. 56 wrestling rating and 65 segment rating. Gigi Ray would actually win this match, pinning Suzuki after the distraction from Saya Kamatina. So Suzuki got an 80, Valkyrie with a 67, Kell with a 43, and Gigi Ray with a 33. After this, Gigi Ray and Rebel Kell would beat down Cassie Lee for instantly losing her first match, in which Jessie McKay would come out to make a save. Now, unfortunately, this is because Cassie Lee is going on maternity leave and has ruined all my booking plans. So we've pivoted. We then get Ricky Knight Jr. taking on Adrian Notice, in which Adrian Notice would win by disqualification. We also had Baba run in and attack Ricky Knight Jr., a 45 wrestling rating and a 47 segment rating. So Ricky Knight Jr. got a 59, Notice got a 31. We then get Lycos Jim squashing Cyril Hupp and Bryant Vicino, a 43 segment rating and a 36 segment rating. Essentially this was just to get Lycos Jim more over with the crowd. So 63 for Kid Lycos 2 and a 51 for Kid Lycos. And then the other two, obviously, you can see they are pure rookies with a 13 and a 16. We then cut to the back where Ricky Knight Jr. and Kumi Baba are brawling all throughout the backstage area. And then in our semi-main event, Thekla would take on Kenzie Page, the winner of this forcing themselves into a title match. Thekla would defeat Kenzie Page by submission after cheating. We got Thekla with the 50, Kenzie Page with the 56, so a 53 wrestling rating and a 55 segment rating. And in our main event, Ultrasonic would defeat Infamy to retain their world titles, a 53 wrestling rating and a 58 segment rating. You can see all the amazing chemistry and specialists here. Radar with the 62, Sonic with the 63, Josia with the 35, and Dion Russman once again outperforming his tag team partner with a 52. So overall, that was our show. Gigi Ray was slightly overused, but that's okay. We did gain popularity in 24 regions. So let's address our locker room, and we will give this to Radar because he still has morale issues. We will give it to Suzu because, once again, the 80 performance is crazy. And we will give it to... We'll give it to Kumi Baba to keep him happy as well. So was pleased, seemed pleased. Financial report, we lost $3,800, but that's okay. Popularity recap, you can see we are gaining. We are now 1 away in the Midwest from hitting that 35. We need to eventually move up to the next level. Once we get the Northwest, I think it's 59. Okay, so the night after the show, we have a little bit of news, and we got 13,800 overall viewers. Finance-wise, we're only 500 in debt, which is pretty damn good, to be honest. We still got our bigger area to run a show in, which is perfect. Merchandise-wise, we're up to 38. I am really tempted to bump this up, but it's going to cost us so much, so I don't quite think it's worth it yet. I'm also kind of tempted to bump up some of our production. If we went up to this, it would cost us $400 a month extra, but our production values would look way better. I'll see how we are, because it would be nice if we could get another TV show going. Well, not even another TV show going, but if we could get another like event or like bigger TV station. I just don't know who would host us, but it needs to be someone that actually has coverage in a lot of places, which doesn't seem to be many. Maybe these guys, but we're not got enough popularity. Dish Network, nope. This will probably be something I have to look at off camera, because I don't want to put us on something like Hulu. Could be pretty cool, but we don't have the popularity requirements. In demand, once again, they have the popularity, because the problem is they run everywhere pretty much, all of America and Canada. So I need something that will allow me to run America and Canada. But if we could have like medium coverage, that'd be huge for us. But yeah, I can't get on anything. At least not yet. Maybe Peachtree? Nope. Yeah, I'm kind of in a situation where there's not really much I can run on. Get on Pro Wrestling TV potentially? No, I can't. I can't get on anything. Otherwise, these guys would be cool. They're also in the UK. Yeah, I'm going to have to look at this more in depth off camera and find our next like aiming point. Because something like Triller TV could be good. But 40 in 9 regions. I'll figure it out. Pac is leaving AEW, and I reckon we bring him in. He is insanely good. Quite expensive, but I think he's going to just light up our junior division. Absolutely just rip it apart. I think he's going to be the perfect person to help like Blanc and Baba and like Ricky Knight Jr. and all sorts. So yeah, we're going to bring Pac in. Okay, I pressed the wrong button just then, but we are on our next show, and I've had to run it early because of Cassie Lee's impending departure. So for this, we do not need D.A. Brewer, because we have Jessica... No, we don't need Jessica Carr, because we have D.A. Brewer. We don't need Notice. We don't need Blanc. We'll use Garcia? No, we won't. We use Bambi Hall. Don't need Brian Cook. We'll use Prawn Patrol. Need Cassie Lee. Need Kathy Kelly. Chris Ridgeway. I definitely need him. D.A. Brewer. We don't need Dion Russman. D'Lo. Eddie Pearl. We need Ethan HD. We need Gigi Ray. We need Hanako. We don't need Ida Bradley. Jesse McKay. Jim Smallman. We don't need Josiah. Kenzie Page, we need Kevin Black, we don't need Kevin Cook, we need Kevin Egan, we need the Lycoses, we need Mike Santiago, we don't need Lisa Hall, we need Radar, we need Rebel Kell, we don't need Ricky Gibson, Ricky Knight Jr., Saya, we don't need Session Moth. Okay, we don't need Zaya Zhao, awesome. Tonight's venue, we are in the Northwest, which means we're going to have so many people watching. Finalise our broadcasters, our booking team is done, we will buy creative finish. Thekla one, nice. Locker room incidents, so Rebel Kell and Gigi Ray, and training for Crawdad as well. Jessie McKay was brought before Wrestler's Court accused of being absorbed by her phone when she should have been paying attention. She was sentenced to buy a crate of beer. Nice. And then we'll address the locker room and we'll do friendship between Bambi Hall and I don't know, Thekla? No? Valkyrie? Sure. Okay. Right, let's get this show booked on our junior results page. In our opening show, or opening match of the show, I say that all the time wrong, we had the Lycos Gym defeating the American Guns in 12 minutes, when Kid Lycos submitted Ethan HD with a Blood Moon. Lycos 2 got a 60, Kid Lycos got a 52, Ethan HD with a 43, and Mike Santiago with a 38. Look at all these excellent bonuses. A 48 wrestling rating, a 55 segment rating. We then have Suzu Suzuki taking on Seiya Kamitina in a match in which Suzu would win quite emphatically. A 61 wrestling rating and a 68 segment rating. Suzu got a 73 and Seiya got a 48. Not bad at all. We then cut to the back where Lycos Gym is being interviewed by Kathy Kelly, who would be who'd be interrupted by Prawn Patrol, who, in their usual not very good subtle selves, basically directly ask Kid Lycos who he is under the mask, kind of giving up the gig of what their next role is. We then get Bambi Hall taking on Kenzie Page. This match I wanted to see how Bambi Hall would do in singles competition, and a 55 performance ain't bad at all. Kenzie Page got 63, so 59 wrestling rating, a 63 segment rating. Bambi Hall could be an unsung top babyface for us. We then cut to the back where the Iconics are being interviewed by Kathy Kelly just before their match. This got a 57 segment rating, and just as they're walking out to the ring, Jessie McKay is attacked backstage by someone who we don't see. This means it is unfortunately a handicap match in which Cassie Lee would lose to Femme Fatale, with Rebel Kell getting the victory. Cassie Lee got 36, Rebel Kell got 42, and Gigi Ray got 33. This got a wrestling rating of 37 and a segment rating of 41. And then post-match, Kenzie Page would reveal herself to be the person who attacked Jessie McKay, taking leadership of Femme Fatale and beating down Cassie Lee after. We then get Takumi Baba taking on Ricky Knight Jr. for the Junior World Heavyweight title, in which Ricky Knight Jr. would get himself intentionally disqualified, beating down Baba pretty bad. This got a wrestling rating of 63 and a segment rating of 64. Baba got 60 and Ricky Knight Jr. got 65. We then get an interview with Ultrasonic, in which Sonico claims they are issuing an open challenge to any outside tag team for their next major show. We then get Thekla taking on Valkyrie in our semi-main event for the Women's World title, in which Valkyrie would win by pinfall with the guillotine. A 57 wrestling rating and a 63 segment rating. Valkyrie got a 60, and Thekla got 53, not bad at all. And then in our main event, Kevin Blackwood would defeat Chris Ridgeway with a quick roll-up. Kevin Blackwood's defense number 5 of the title. So Chris Ridgeway got a 49 and Kevin Blackwood got a 57. This was a 53 wrestling rating and a 54 segment rating. So overall, increased our popularity once again in 24 regions. Lycos and Lycos 2 used too much, but that will slowly disappear with the more we use them. This is worrisome, but I mean, our shows are still doing pretty damn good, so it's not the end of the world. So let's address the locker room, and I think we give this to Chris Ridgeway. We'll give it to Radar to help with his morale issues, and, we'll give it to Bambi Hall because she's been awesome. So was happy, seemed pleased. Financial report, we actually made $6,100 from that one show alone, which is huge. Ticket sales are 16,000. Popularity recap, you can say we're still gaining, so our merch is going to go through the roof as well. Okay, it's day after the show, and we have some news. So Jessie McKay has gone from CCW. We had almost 14,000 viewers. We are also going to release Cassie Lee, because unfortunately, we don't really have a role for her now that she's going away. Take her off the shortlist, and we can release her from her contract. We also need to come to our... when I can find it, where is our stables? Stables, and we need to do Femme Fatale, modify stable, and the leader is now Kenzie Page. It should be a nice way to boost her up. Other than that, I want to check not our finances. There we go. Currently almost 8,700. We can make like 10k this month. That would be huge. And then the last thing I actually wanted to do, I wanted to see if I could get a partnership going with a company such as these guys. Maybe we can build a relationship with New Japan. Maybe. Or like Noah would be pretty cool. Where's New Japan Pro Wrestling? Here we go. Nope. Oh, that's there. I'm looking at the wrong screen, that's why. I need to come over here to relationships. So negotiate. New Japan. Adopt friendly attitude? Okay. Can we have a talent agreement? No, we can't. Okay, that's fine. Who is on my size then? Max size small, because that's what we are. Who could I potentially bring in for a team? Roster, nope, that's not what I need. I need view profile, tag teams. Who do they have? Jinzo and Valkyrie, okay. Priest and Rose, Violence is Forever, could be fun to bring in for a match. Okay, who else is there? Defy, who are your tag teams? Defy. Insane Connection, Lethal Weapons, State of Emergency, okay. Who else? GCW, who do you have? No one's really standing out. The Nightmares, maybe? Does one called Manders not have another tag team partner? Or have I just totally made that up? I need to search him in the actual area. Who else is there? Gleet. View profile. Who do you have? Gleet. Kazuma Sakamoto and Quiet Storm. Okay, no one really that helpful. 01. What about reset? We're going to go location, the United States. AEW, do you have anyone I could potentially hire? Definitely can't bring in Aussie Open because they're going to be on exclusive runs, yeah. Definitely cannot bring in FTR because they're going to be the same. High Octane, Lionhook. The Lucha Brothers. Exclusive, yep, of course. Grizzled Young Vets. Exclusive writtens. The Guns. The Kings, they're going to be exclusive writtens, yep. Okay. Good. What about TNA? Anyone? The most pro wrestling gods. Handshake. Written. Ooh. You know what? Let's do you guys. One appearance. Yeah, you only want to work events and 8 TV shows. And we'll do Moose as well. Cool. Any other tag teams you guys can think of from any country? Doesn't matter who they are, let us know. Because I'm open to bringing in some really cool tag teams for people to face. Where's personal details? Big Beef, Matthew Justice, a second gear crew. That's what I thought. Okay. So let's bring in one called Manders as well. And where's Matthew Justice? Bring you in for one appearance. Dominic Guarini. 2 appearances. And Kevin. Where are you? There you are. £1,000 a show. Damn. Okay. How? I mean, I'm not surprised your popularity is through the roof. Cool. Right. That's that sort then. Other than that, we are pretty good to skip ahead again. Okay, we can bring in Pac, so he's obviously going to be a heel. Can't bring him in for 24 days, but that's fine. Then we've got all our tag teams. Jamie Hayter's gone from DDT. I actually just had a thought. Anthony Green and Jack Morris, they teamed together in Noah called GLG, the Good Looking Guys. Big old stable, and they were awesome. Can we convince him? No. Can I get a deal going with Pro Wrestling Noah? Talent trades? Nope, that's not the right button. Relationships, negotiate, Pro Wrestling Noah. Why do we have a mildly negative? What? Talent trade? Too small. Bastards. This is going to be probably not going to happen. Where's Alliances? Can I get on the Cyber Fight Alliance? Didn't think so. I could join the NWA. The Collective I could join? Any good teams in here? Potentially. Let me know if we should join the Collective. Because that would open us up to get some really fun stuff going. Like we could bring in some really cool luchadors, we could bring in some other wrestlers. Yeah, let us know. Should we join the Collective as in Alliance? Okay, we have some decisions to make, so we can bring in one called Manders as a heel. We'll bring in Kevin as a heel. Awesome. And even more decisions, so we can bring in Brian Myers as a heel, we can bring in Moose as a heel, and Matthew Justice as a heel, which just leaves Dominic Guarini. And it looks like it's time for us to bring in Dominic Guarini, so he needs to be a heel as well. And we can get all these teams established. So, add a new team. Hopefully. There we go. One called Manners and Matthew Justice. We'll make them a unit. If I could press the right actual button. There we go. We get to add Brian Myers and Moose now. Hopefully. There we go. Moose and Brian Myers, again as a unit. And then finally we can add Violence is Forever. Good old Dominic Guarini and Kevin, there he is. Unit, auto, perfect. Cool. Okay, and it is time to end the episode. We're at the end of the month. Another short one, because unfortunately, very busy week. I haven't been feeling too well, but I wanted to get an episode out to you guys. So let's check out our finances. We made almost $12,000 last month. That is huge. Merchandise-wise, we're up to 44%, not bad. I did see this interestingly enough. We don't have a 5th franchise player. Very, very interesting. But Thekla is our number 1 wrestler. Valkyrie is our lead babyface. So Thekla and Valkyrie, we've really built up quite well. I'm quite happy with this. Popularity-wise, very, very solid. Skills-wise, very, very solid. Where is what I'm looking for? Psychology. She could probably start calling matches in the ring, to be honest. What about Valkyrie? Skill, psychology. Yeah, they both could probably call matches in the ring. That would make things way better. How's Kevin Blackwood doing skills-wise? Not bad at all. His psychology is really getting up there now. That's cool. Stamina, the guy's a workhorse. Popularity also very quickly gaining. Awesome stuff. Well, like I said, we are going to wrap this one up, so thanks so much for coming and watching, guys. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to drop in the comments any booking ideas, any teams you think we should bring in for Lycos Gym, for Ultrasonic to face, all the other tag teams we have. Any other suggestions, titles, tournaments, all that fun things, let us know. If you ever enjoyed, please drop me a like and subscribe to the channel for more, and hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.